I am never going out with my girlfriend on a trip again. As I drove through the dry desert landscape of Arizona and New Mexico, I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and accomplishment. I was on my way to completing my goal of visiting all 50 states. However, I wasn't alone on this trip. My girlfriend, who had never been out of California, had asked to tag along. I agreed, thinking it would be a great opportunity to see how she acted on vacations and trips. We had been together for almost a full year, and while I loved her, I had always wondered how she would handle traveling. I'm not one for luxurious vacations, and I have no problem roughing it and sleeping in unconventional places. However, this trip was going to be a little different. I had planned for us to stay at 2 days in hotels, both with 4-star ratings, and one even had complimentary breakfast. I was excited to share this experience with my girlfriend and show her that traveling doesn't have to be expensive to be enjoyable. As soon as she got in the car, I could sense her unease. She immediately complained that my car was too small and the weather was too hot. I tried to brush it off, thinking she was just adjusting to the new environment. But as we continued on our journey, her complaints only increased. "Do we have to stay at a day's inn?" she asked, with a disappointed look on her face. "Surely there are better places around here." I tried to explain that I had chosen these hotels for a reason, but she just rolled her eyes and continued to complain. Her negative attitude didn't stop there. She complained about the bed sheets feeling weird and the air conditioning being too cold. She even went as far as to say EWWW when she saw that our hotel shower had a curtain instead of a glass door. I was starting to feel frustrated, but I tried to stay positive and make the most of our trip. But it seemed like nothing I did was good enough for her. Every suggestion I gave was turned down, and she barely responded when I asked if she wanted to do something or go somewhere. We went to the Grand Canyon, a place I had been looking forward to showing her, but she only had negative things to say. "This is the Grand Canyon? I thought it would be prettier," she said, with a disappointed tone. When we arrived in Albuquerque, she complained that the city was ugly and questioned why I wanted to go there. I had planned a hike for us to do, but she refused to go and instead stayed in the car. I was starting to feel defeated and wondered why I had even invited her on this trip. But things only got worse when we went out to eat. She freaked out at a waitress because they made her order wrong and caused a scene. I was so embarrassed and ended up apologizing to the waitress multiple times. But the final straw for me was when we stopped for a picnic at the Grand Canyon and my girlfriend didn't clean up her trash. When I asked her about it, she simply shrugged and said, "It's the park ranger's job." I was appalled by her lack of consideration and respect for the environment. By the time we got home, I was mentally and emotionally exhausted. I dropped her off at her house and drove back to my own without any music playing. I needed some time to decompress and enjoy a period of silence after the chaotic trip. This experience had opened my eyes to a side of my girlfriend that I had never seen before. It was her first time out of state, but she had barely displayed any signs of common decency towards people and the environment. I found myself apologizing for her behavior multiple times, which made me question if this was the kind of person I wanted to be with. As I reflected on the trip, I realized that it wasn't just about the destination, but also about the journey and the company you have. And unfortunately, my girlfriend's negative attitude and lack of consideration had made the journey less enjoyable. I knew I needed to have a serious conversation with her about her behavior and how it had affected our trip. It was a wake-up call for me, and I knew that I needed to reevaluate our relationship and if this was something I could continue to tolerate in the long run. In the days following the tumultuous trip, I decided it was crucial to have an honest and open conversation with my girlfriend about her behavior during our travels. I invited her to a quiet and neutral place, ensuring we could discuss things without distractions. During our talk, I expressed my feelings and concerns, highlighting the impact her negativity and lack of consideration had on our journey. I emphasized that it wasn't merely about the locations we visited, but also about the shared experiences and how we treated others and the environment. I shared my disappointment in the way she treated the waitstaff, her dismissiveness towards the scenic beauty, and her disregard for the environment during our picnic. To my surprise, she seemed genuinely taken aback by my perspective. It turned out that she hadn't realized the extent of her behavior and its effect on me. As we delved deeper into the conversation, she shared her own anxieties and discomforts during the trip. She admitted feeling overwhelmed by the new environments and experiences, leading to her expressing dissatisfaction as a defense mechanism. This revelation opened a pathway for understanding between us. We both acknowledged the need for better communication and compromise in our relationship, especially when it came to differing preferences in travel and lifestyle. Together, we developed a plan to address our concerns and find a middle ground that would make future adventures more enjoyable for both of us. In the weeks that followed, we actively worked on improving our communication and understanding each other's perspectives. We took smaller trips to nearby places, allowing us to test our newfound strategies. Gradually, we began appreciating each other's company without the cloud of negativity that had overshadowed our previous journey. As time passed, the changes in our relationship reflected positively on our travels. We revisited some of the places we had initially explored during the challenging trip, creating new memories filled with laughter and shared joy. My girlfriend started appreciating the beauty around us, and her attitude shifted to one of curiosity and gratitude. Ultimately, our relationship grew stronger as we learned to navigate challenges together. The once rocky journey became a turning point for us, and with mutual effort, we discovered a newfound appreciation for each other and the adventures life had to offer. The experience taught us that with patience, communication, and a willingness to compromise, even the most challenging situations could lead to growth and understanding. And so, we found our happy ending, not just in the destinations we visited, but in the journey we embarked upon as a couple. As we continued to work on our relationship, new complications emerged that tested our commitment to each other. Despite the positive changes, we faced challenges that forced us to confront deeper issues. One significant hurdle was the clash of our individual career aspirations. I was dedicated to my engineering studies and my passion for AI and ML, spending long hours on projects and research. On the other hand, my girlfriend, with her background in content creation, began feeling a strong desire to pursue her own ambitions independently. The conflict arose when our priorities seemed to be pulling us in different directions. This divergence in career goals led to heated discussions about our future together. We struggled to find a balance between supporting each other's dreams and maintaining a strong connection. It became clear that compromise and understanding would be essential to navigate these conflicting ambitions. Additionally, we faced external pressures from our families and friends, each offering their perspectives on what they believed was best for us. This external influence added another layer of complexity to our relationship as we grappled with the expectations and opinions of those close to us. Despite these challenges, we decided to face them head-on. We sought guidance from a relationship counselor to help us communicate effectively and find common ground. The counseling sessions became a safe space for us to express our concerns, fears, and dreams, fostering a deeper understanding of each other's perspectives. As we worked through these issues, we found ourselves reassessing our individual goals and considering how they could align more harmoniously. This process required compromise, sacrifice, and a willingness to adapt our plans for the sake of our relationship. We discovered that by supporting each other's aspirations, we could create a shared vision for the future that encompassed both our dreams. The journey towards resolving these complications was arduous but ultimately rewarding. Our relationship grew stronger as we overcame obstacles together, realizing that facing challenges as a united front brought us closer. The external pressures and conflicting career aspirations served as catalysts for self-discovery and mutual growth. In the end, our relationship not only weathered the storm, but emerged more resilient. We learned that love and commitment could endure through complexities, and by embracing change and adapting to each other's evolving aspirations, we paved the way for a future filled with shared accomplishments and mutual support. This was sent to us anonymously. Sent your story to us to get featured. Subscribe to Teleme and stay tuned.